All right, welcome back. Just an excerpt. Marian Azubike, the lady who found water. I was going to say it was Mongo Park who found the River Niger.
He did not.
He did not find the river. Exactly. People ask me that. I say, there are people who've been going on the River Niger, River Benue for years, and some guy comes in and says, I discovered
He only had the power of the pen.
Yeah, he had the power of the pen. And he quickly wrote that,
yes.
you know. So you are also a Mandela Washington Fellow. Thank you very much for coming this morning. Of course, it's the biggest open secret in the country that we've got a water crisis. Very few people realize it, but you suddenly think about how people get water in the different communities, even the urban areas. And you find out that it's come about via their own private enterprise, not necessarily from the government side. And the government says people have water. But you found a way around it rather than complain about the problem, but do something about it. So tell us how significant what you've done to rural communities has been.
Okay, first of all, water is a basic, amenity. Water is a basic human right. And then imagine 6,000 people living in a place without access to these basic human rights. So I was able to sink a borehole to facilitate that project. And that borehole provided water for 6,000 people during my NYSC. You know, I was scared of going to the north, but then I was able to do this. So I realized that water is a major problem. I mean, I live in Lagos, and we drink pure water. Hey, we don't have government to provide water for us. But then I realized that, hey, some people don't even have that privilege to even afford water as basic as it is. So that inspired me to do more. By providing water for
Obviously, you've done a lot for that community, and despite the odds that you were faced with, the security challenges, the trying to raise funds, you went against that. Despite your family telling you, come home, come home, come home, you went against all of that, and your life has taken a different turn because of this project. Now, tell us how you raised funds and how your life has taken up because of that singular, selfless act that you did for that community.
The thing is, when you volunteer, you discover that there are a lot of talents in you that you never knew. You know, volunteering helps you unleash who you are. So the project is, my life has changed after that because people started seeing me as a role model and like a mentor. And, you know, so I realized that when that experience changed my life.
How has it changed your life? Give us details. Why are you so cagey about it?
Okay, for example, when many young coppers want to embark on project, they reach out to me and I give them, tell them how to raise funds, how to mobilize the community, project management basically. I never knew I could do all this. And then
of course.
Yes.
Come on, tell
us. And of course, the Mandela Washington Fellowship. Hey, you know what they say? The Mandela Washington Fellowship was another one because it's a department, an initiative of the U.S. Department of State, where young, promising Africans. And Nigeria has like the highest slots. In Nigeria, about 100 of us were taken to the U.S., all sponsored by the U.S. Department of State. And then we were placed in institutes. I learned civic leadership for 6 weeks, and I'm expected to come back home and put into practice all that I've learned. So when I came back home, I realized that I could do more. And what I did is I intensified efforts of selling my book. So with that, I'm able to support other coppers. What I'm doing is, the proceeds from the book sale, I've started giving out coppers to small grants, 50,000 naira, to coppers who are specifically embarking on water projects. And then you see how inspired they are. I feel that if young people are supported, they will do a whole lot. So the experience, my NYSC experience, the Mandela Washington Fellowship, everything has all helped shaping who I am. Writing skills, I never knew that I could write very well. But when I came back after the NYSC, my friends were like, Chibuzo, we knew how you were scared. We knew how you were crying. How come you were able to do all this? Okay, just write about it. And then I realized that Africans don't even write. Because when I went to the US, they don't know much about us. I got asked very funny questions like, okay, how come you know how to speak English so well? You know, and some of them will be like, do you know what comes to my mind when Africa is mentioned? Zebra and antelopes. And I'm like, no.
We forgive them all.
Right. You know,
it's more like, Africans write, but Africans' works don't get towards them. It's more like it. Because we've got African writers series for several years. You know, we've got a body of literature that spans back to maybe the 18th, 19th century.
I agree with you, but I also think we should do more. I think we should do more and document our steps. For example, you have lots of successful American young people and all that, writing Brian Tracy's and all that. But you don't really have many of these Nigerians who have done well, write about the steps that they took You know, so I feel that we need to do more.
It's a different time right now, because previously printing a book we know it's not cheap, but because we have the World Wide Web, it puts us on a different pedestal and makes it easier for us to achieve our dreams. You're presently doing your master's now. You have an NGO. Tell us about it. The NGO is part of the work funding the coppers, right?
Yes, the NGO funds coppers who are doing water project, and I also speak at NYC. I've been to Lagos, Ogun, Oyo, Bauchi. I've spoken to over 10,000 coppers on the need to embark on project, because I found out that during that 1-year service, they can do a lot, you know, and there's this, the government would most likely respond to coppers because they are seen in bracket as government speaking. So you imagine us having many coppers writing to government ministries to get funding to execute projects. That is one way of getting our governments to be responsible and to deliver the dividends of democracy. Then on the other hand, I'm doing my master's in diaspora and transnational studies.
Any particular reason why?
Okay, well, diaspora and transnational studies, you know, when you look at the way things are going now, you find out that, for example, last year, Nigeria had more revenue from the diaspora than even oil. You know, there's a whole lot that we can actually gain from people in the diaspora, especially in the global village. They can be able to facilitate development and all that. I mean, China and India has been able to harness the potentials of their diaspora. So I'm doing this to see how much I can be able to
it's massive. Even the African Union has a sub-department, one of the 8 sub-departments dedicated to the diaspora.
Yeah, exactly.
But tell me, I'm interested in knowing the impact of what you did in Bauchi State, for example, or the government responsibilities. Have they lent? Are the people in those areas they have better access to water than when you first sunk those boreholes there?
Yes, they didn't have any borehole at all. It was their first. And I've never seen people that happy in my entire life, you know. They gave me a traditional title, Sarikin Ayuka, which means work superintendent. Thank you. And I was named Lady Haske. Lady Haske means Lady of the Light and the Key of the Future. Now, I was 21 years old. I think it's now that I'm getting to understand the impact of what I did, because I was a news reporter then at Bauchi State Television, and you know how people would always come around to say, please provide water for us, you know, all those whatever, talk to the government and all. So that's how I got to find out about the community, and we went there. The road was not motorable.
So it wasn't even you weren't serving in that community?
No, but it was in Bauchi local government, and I was in Bauchi local government. Yeah. So, and then the people were also very cooperative. You know, you had Muslims there, you had Christians there. There was no crisis.
All right. Memoirs of a core member. This is the book you've done. The Girl Who Found Water. I'm not sure many core members actually who served outside the places of location had so much fun memories that they could write a book, but I'm sure you had a great time. So tell us a little about this.
Okay, the book, as I said earlier, summarizes my experiences, my fears of going to the north, how I cried, the whole journey, Lagos to Bauchi, 18 hours by road, by night, very terrific. And then going to the NYC orientation camp in Bauchi and realizing that it was not a joke, that actually I was posted there. And I would like to actually state that was during the post-election violence, you know. 2 months after, where about 9-10 coppers were killed in Bauchi. So
2011, right?
Yes. So the tension was palpable, and I was really very scared. You know, I was thinking it was a mistake. But despite that, all this challenge, and then I lived in a church, so there was an explosion one midnight.
I read that one. Oh.
But despite all these challenges,
and your family members calling you to come home.
Exactly. And then I was able to do this. So,
did you get an award from the state government?
Of course.
You did get one.
Yes, I was nominated as the best scopper in my state. Fantastic. So I got the Governor's Award, and I was nominated for the National Award.
Congratulations. Is this you pumping the water?
No, it's...
Just curious. All right. I want to thank you so much and say congratulations on your achievements. And we hope that this spurs you on to do much more. So, Marian Azubike, how do we even describe you now?
Okay, I'm all in one, but you could call me a writer and a social entrepreneur.
All right, a writer and a social entrepreneur. Marian Azubike, well done. Congratulations. And we hope that you do a lot more and keep making Nigeria and Nigerians proud.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm grateful.
All right, we'll take a quick break, and we're going to be looking for water still, like Miriam said. Right after this, please stay with us for the wrap.